What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cooler Master NR400 Micro ATX case. Ever since I saw this case, I thought it looked really cool, so I'm excited to finally have it in person and checking it out. I'm a really big fan of Cooler Master. Ever since back in the day, I owned a lot of their cases, like the 690 Advance 2, the Cooler Master Half XM, the Half X. So definitely a lot of history with them. In fact, I think my first ever computer build was with a Cooler Master case. So I'm excited to see what their new cases are like, so let's take a look. So in terms of the foam quality, I give it 5 out of 10 Linuses. Alright, so what's included in the box is the warranty information and an installation guide that is quite detailed and has a lot of pictures, so that will definitely come in handy. They're not trying to prove anything with this case. I really like the rugged, straight to the point appearance. Once you take off the side panel, you'll be introduced to the front panel ports, which consist of USB 3.0, power and reset, audio plug, and the connector for the 3-pin fan, which does include a Molex adapter with 2 3-pin extensions, so you can run 3 fans out of 1 plug, which is pretty cool. You also get a bag of accessories. Inside the bag are the screws, which also have a standoff screw. Very nice that they include that. Zip ties, hard drive rail, and the grommets for the additional drives. To take off the tempered side panel, you just slide it back and pull it off. It's quite heavy and feels high quality. The screws also stay on the side panel so they don't get lost, which is a nice touch. Starting from the top, since this is the version with the optical drive, we have the toolless bracket for it. Never was a big fan of these because the drives will rattle if you only use this, so I'd recommend screwing it in using one of these cutouts. The motherboard and power supply area are separated, so the heat from the components will be separated. To take off the front panel, pull from the opening on the bottom and the whole thing snaps off. No dust filter, unfortunately. There's a nice cutout here on the front for cable routing. This is the default fan you get on the front, which does have more fan blades than the one on the back, so it is slightly different. This is where the optical drive would slide in. Just remove the cover by pushing back this tab, and it will pop out of place. If you don't end up needing it, you can place it over and push down, and it will snap back into place. You can install up to 2 120mm fans or 2 140mm fans. No triple fans on the disk drive version. For radiators, you can do up to 280mm, however it might interfere with this hard drive cage below. Luckily it is removable, just take off the screw and the whole cage pops off, like so. So you can leave this out if you don't need the additional hard drive space or would rather just install a radiator. You can also move it to a different spot. It can be installed in either one of these 3 lines. The motherboard cutout on this case is massive. I can almost fit my head through it. So you should have no issues replacing your CPU cooler at any time. Here's the power supply section in full. On the side panel there's also padding for this area, which I assume is for noise reduction since there's no vents on it. The power supply would sit on those 4 rubber stands and screw into place. You get 4 PCI expansion slots with an additional area for airflow. On the top you have the power button, which lights up white, reset, 2 USB 3.0s, and a headphone/microphone jack. Even though there are mounting points on the front, it is covered by the optical drive bay, so you can only use the rear side, which supports one 120mm fan or one 140mm fan. No dust filter here either. On the bottom there is a dust filter for the power supply. It is a cheap one though, where you have to reach around to take it off, but I am glad they included it. Slide it back then forth to take it off. Align the rounded area to where the feet are at and slide it into place after you're done cleaning it. You can install 3 hard drives in the cage, 1 on the top and 2 inside using the rails. 1 more can also go below the optical drive with the included grommets. 2 SSDs can mount on the back, and 2 more on the bottom plate if you want to display them, with a nice cutout on the back for cables. Video card clearance comes out at around 346mm. For the CPU cooler you're looking at 166mm, and the power supply with a cage all the way to the back at about 140mm. On the top there are 2 cutouts for 8-pin cables with cable tie mounts. Also on the front, some cable grommets for the motherboard. And all over the case they're quite generous with the cable tie mounts, as you can see. Alright, so my final verdict. Overall, I really like this case. It's amazing. No major complaints. It does still feel like a budget case, but it is coming in at around $60. So for the price, it's amazing. And it's very well thought out. Like, you can tell they clearly put some thought into it. Sometimes you get computer cases where it's just like some things really don't make any sense. The tempered glass is really nice. I can tell building in this thing will be a breeze. So if you're thinking about buying this case and you're on the fence about it, my opinion is go for it.